Oh, so like, what's as like an example, like what happens to Bandit?
Don't we have dead bodies?
Aren't we already executing the bandit leader as an example?
Well, I think the idea was to bring him along to the next town where where Gothar is, or at least where his authority
This is going to get around. If there's a public execution, it'll get around. I don't.
Yeah.
Remember, the river here has a lot of traffic. People are always moving up and down, trading goods, whatever. So if something happens where you inform on this guy, or you tell them what's happening to him, it'll spread.
And trust me, this many guys that go missing, they're going to know something bad happened to them. So I think we're good.
Yeah, I don't think we need heads on pikes right now.
I like heads on.
Prisoner dilemma.
I think we got our fill of blood from the last session. That should tide us over for a good day or two.
Well, actually, that's a point. If we use the guy from the last session, we could go have like half a head on a pike.
No, we're eating out of it. We're going to use the skull as a bowl.
Chamber pot.
Let's move.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay. So you string them along. You bid farewell to the people of Bira, who seem very. Most of them seem absolutely relieved to have these bandits gone out of their hair. You're under the impression that they weren't good for business and they weren't very pleasant to have around.
Well, I wouldn't think so. Okay.
Yeah, bandits are never good for
Smell.
business. You guys have been rowing for a day. Think about it. You're not that pleasant yourselves. Now,
I don't notice this.
so you get in the canoe. You set some of them to work rowing, the healthier, stronger ones to row. You sit back and you enjoy the scenery. And I do need one person who has boating to pilot the boat from the back.
That's me. I can pilot from the back.
All right, make a roll.
I haven't rolled my sheet. Just 1 second.
I can pilot from the back too. Ho-yo.
Oh, that's supposed to be Davros' line.
So it's I have to roll under my skill.
Under your skill, but whatever you roll in the percentile, subtract 40 from. Okay. Yeah, no problem. So you're able to guide and direct. Basically, you're using the bandits as the engines. You're steering.
I don't see chat room. I don't see why anyone is echoing because they're all coming through the same channel.
Pardon me?
They're saying only one person is echoing. I think it's you, but there's no reason why that should be.
That's weird.
Because you're all coming through the same channel. I don't.
It's not me, is it?
No, I think it's you, V.
Okay.
Whatever.
Oh, it's Carl. Thank you.
I'll work on it. Give me a second. Go ahead.
All right. So you're sailing along the river, or paddling along the river. The day is getting quite warm. You manage to pass the entire day, other than the brief break for lunch. But you make really good time. It takes a total of about 7 hours, including plus a brief break for lunch, to reach the walls of the next town. And you're coming up on Jayadnor, and I'm going to spell it out here in case anybody wants to or cares about it. Jayadnor is bigger than the last town you're in. In fact, it's one of the biggest towns away from the shoreline here. Population is about 2,400 people, so easily twice the size of Bira. Wooden palisade walls up around it. It gives the impression Bira was much more of an open village that just kind of grew. Jayadnor is more of a fortified town, much more used to independence. And as you can gather from being further away from more centralized strength of the government, you're in more of a wilder frontier kind of area. And I am actually getting echo coming through from my end here.
Hang on. Let me try something else. We might go completely silent, chat room.
It might be my mic. I'll chat.
You have like a pair of headphones you might be able to use?
No, I don't.
Alright,
Oh.
I changed channels. Just let me know, well, one, if you can hear me and how it is, but yeah, keep going, UV.
Sorry, I'm learning the joy of muting my microphone before I clear my throat and cough, so as not to kill anybody. So Jihad Noor comes into view, and the men on the boat and walking through the water, when they see it coming up, very agitated. You can tell they're very nervous. They're very upset at the sight of this. Some of them look like they're out ready to bolt to try to get away from the sight of it, because they realize what's coming up.
Pull up my bow.
Okay. Alrighty. So, anybody? Nobody's actually going to try to question any of these guys about why they're looking so nervous about this.
No, I forgot. No, my character really did forget.
I guess I'll ask them why they're so panicky.
They said we were banished. Returning is punishable by death. So, I mean, slavery is one thing, crippling is another thing, but being turned over, to them for after banishment is.
No, that's if you go back on your own. No, it is. Like, if you go back on your own, you violated, but we dragged you back.
Dragged you back, Gene. Well, I'm hoping you can. The one guy looks very nervous and he swallows hard. He says, "I'm hoping you can convince Dvorn of that."
Oh, come now. Who's ever turned down a nice free pair of slaves? Anyone's ever looked at them and gone, "Oh, we banished you. We don't want you in indentured servitude for the rest of your lives. No, we'll just shank your ass."
That voice, man. That voice.
Oh, with a pointy hat, yes. Okay.
Her in Shiv. Nice.
I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be right back. I gotta go upstairs. Hang on.
We represent the Lollipop Youth.
Lollipop you.
So I had a brilliant idea to replace your token with Sean, but I lost it this morning. Like I thought of it last night, and I'm like, I really should save it to my computer and look it up, but I put it off and I fell asleep and I forgot.
I'll be honest, I'd almost be tempted just to use this as a token.
Yeah.
Classy.
Guys, I don't know why there's an echo. I really can't say.
There's an echo?
Apparently there is.
Oh, I did just hear a slight echo. Huh.
It might be my microphone. I've been leaving it off mostly, but
Okay, they're saying that the echo is from whoever has their audio over their speakers. The mic is picking it up. I have my speakers on it. I don't even hear an echo. It's if I do, it's not that bad.
It's incredibly slight. You'd actually have to be listening for it. When you mentioned it, I heard myself the tail end of my sentence, but it's almost negligible, really.
Yeah, I really don't.
Yeah, there it is.
I really don't hear it that much.
You see, now that you got me hearing it, I'm gonna hear it.
Yeah, I don't have my stream running, or I don't have it playing on my end, so. I'm working on it. Give me a second. Okay, chat room, I'm gonna go. I might go quiet. If you don't hear me within the next 10 seconds, then say so. Okay, I changed it up. Let me know if you hear me. They do not. They do hear me.
Coffee.
Do you think it's any better?
Okay. All right. I'm back. Have we solved the mystery of the echo?
No, but we'll work on it.
Okay.
Yep. Well, now they got me here, and where I wasn't before. So, one more person to complain, right?
Yeah.
Does that represent an improvement? I don't know. So, Jayad and I are coming into the view. The river runs right up to sort of a gate in the wooden palisade. So imagine the town kind of runs down to the side of the river. And you notice that it almost sits at a fork in the river. That there's a... Okay, I'm really getting an echo here. All right, so you get this, an east fork and a west fork of the river. And in this case, it kind of sits in the middle, right where the rivers diverge is where there's like kind of a landing for boats and whatnot, and a gate in the palisade. And as you're coming up towards it, it's hard to get the men across. I mean, they kind of have to splash through deeper water to get there, but it's not that bad, and the water's not running that fast at this time of year. If it were a little later into the fall and the heavier rain started, you'd probably drown all of them trying to get them to this landing. The gate stands open, and spotters on the walls have seen you coming from a ways off. And so there's a crew waiting for you there, and there's a group of men. They are dressed similar to what the bandits had been wearing. Better kept, similar weapons and armor. Short bows, short swords, that kind of thing. And at the head of the crowd, there looks to be about half a dozen men standing there armed. And at the head of them is an